Hello students, in the GATE Computer Science syllabus, we will be learning about the subject named Computer Networks today. So, there are 5 main topics in this computer networks, which are the concepts of layering, then topics about data link layer, routing protocols, transport layer and application layer protocols. These are basically the layers of the OSI model, like this is the second layer, then the third layer, fourth layer, and about the upper layers of the OSI model. So first we will be covering the concept of layering. It has so many subtopics, so I have split it into 6 videos, and I'll be uploading them one by one. So the first, in this video we will be discussing the first few topics like what is a computer network and what will be the components of a communication, data communication, and how the nodes will be connected, and then things about networking elements that are required, and then what is the goal of a computer network, like the main purpose of establishing a computer network will be discussed, and then the type of link that we use in a computer network, basically whether it is a point-to-point link or it is a multi-point link. And then we will be seeing the directions of data flow, which can be either simplex or half duplex or full duplex, and then we will be seeing about the unicast, broadcast and multicast mode of transmission. And we'll also be discussing about the network criteria concepts, like if a network, what is the criteria to determine whether a network is good or not. So then we'll be discussing about the categories of network, which are basically local area network, wide area network, metropolitan area network, etc. Now let's start the session. So a computer network is basically a connection of multiple devices that are connected to a particular network. There can be devices which can be computers or printers, scanners, etc. Then a communication medium which can be wired or wireless, and so these are connected. So if a few devices are connected through a communication medium, we call it a network. So with this we can share the resources with other users. So for example, take your computer lab. It might have multiple computers or printers, etc., and they will be connected to a single network, maybe your college intranet, we can say. So with this internet connection, you can share resources between two devices. So that is the main aim of a computer network. So then now let's talk about data communication. So when talking about system, there will be two types of system actually. One is open system and other is closed system. Open system is basically a system with an active network connection, actually, which means it is connected to a network. For example, take a shop. If it is open, you can go and purchase items from that shop, etc. So transfer happens. Typically, if a laptop is connected to an internet, you can transfer, you can upload or download files, etc. Resource sharing happens. So that is an open system. In case of closed system, it is not connected to any network. It operates within its own premises. For example, if a shop is closed, no one can enter the shop or no transaction takes place in that shop. Or you just take a bank. After 4 p.m. mostly, the bank will be closed, and but the bank employees will be working inside. They will be doing the auditing works or maintenance work, etc. So the employees can do the job, but outside customers are not allowed. So data transfer is not possible after 4 p.m. Similarly, in a closed system, it's just a laptop. It is not connected to the network. So what you can do in this system is you can just watch the videos which are already downloaded, or you can view the material or use the software which can be run without the help of any internet connection. Like you can play the games that are built into the system. Only those things are possible in a closed system. So what is the data mainly? A data is just a piece of information, you can say. Example, if you are forecasting weather, the weather details, like what is the temperature of the particular day, that is an example of a data. Or if you are sending an email, that is an example of a data. Or your student details, the student database, it's a typical example of a data. So when dealing with the computers, mainly in computer terms, data is often numeric, like when regards to healthcare data, the data of a diabetic patient can contain what are their blood sugar levels, what are their BP levels, etc. So these mostly it will be numeric data, and we will be doing computations and calculations with these numeric data. You will be learning more about those things in our video on machine learning and big data actually. So this data can be used to predict the future, like what will happen. So these are the blood pressure details of the particular patient for the past few months. So what will be their blood pressure results or etc. in the future. So predicting those such details, predicting the weather. So those things are mainly concerned with the numeric details. So hence data is often numeric, that are collected to observation. And so in networks we will not be much focused on this, what are the data, what are the types, etc. We will be just focusing about how to transfer the data between devices, like concerned with the transmission security, those things are concerned with the network setup alone. So we will not be focusing in deep about the type of data and data manipulation, etc. That is done in subjects like machine learning, big data, deep learning, etc. So then data communication, we can see about data communication. Data communication is just the exchange of data between two devices, like between node A and node B. So we need to have a transmission medium, and the medium can be wired or wireless. In case of wired, we use cable like twisted pair, fiber optic cable, then coax cable, etc. We will be discussing about this in the upcoming videos. But mostly some things will be wireless and some certain things has to be wired. Mostly everything is becoming wireless these days. The typical components of a data communication is message, sender, receiver, medium, and a protocol. Let's take for example, if you are going to send a WhatsApp message from to your friend, so that there has to be a message. Example, I am applying for leave tomorrow, like that may be a message you wish to send to your friend. So you are the sender and your friend might be the receiver. So communication medium you use is wireless medium you will be using. So WhatsApp uses your help with the help of your internet service provider, which is like Airtel or BSNL. With the help of radio frequency waves, the data will be sent to your friend receiver. And protocol, so protocol is a very important term actually. A protocol is just a set of rules that has to be followed to achieve some predefined procedure. Like for example, if you are a college student, some protocols will be there that has to be followed by every student while in the campus. Example, the proper dress code should be followed, that is one protocol. Then you have to wear ID card all the time, that is one more protocol for a college student. Similarly, the transmission also has some protocols, like while transmitting data from one node to other node, they have to follow this transmission protocol rules. Then connectivity, like consider node A and node B. There is a connection between them, like a network connection. So this connection is called a link, and this system, either it be a computer or a printer, these devices are called nodes. So in graph theory you might have learned this as vertices, and the link as edges. So the same thing in computer network, we call the vertex as the nodes, and the edge is the link here. So networking elements, what are the networking elements that are necessary to build a network? Like at least two computers, two devices has to be there. Transmission medium, either it is be wired or wireless. Then protocol, like the rules that has to be followed while transmitting data from the source to receiver. And network software, it is one more important thing. Like if you are going to send message through WhatsApp, your device should support should have the operating systems like Android OS. Like WhatsApp supports Android OS, iOS, and Windows also, because web WhatsApp is because of this web WhatsApp is becoming popular these days. So but when we are trying to download WhatsApp on the basic mobiles, like the previous old versions of the mobile, Nokia mobiles, So WhatsApp can't be downloaded, so it is inaccessible. So similarly, if a node wants to transmit data to other node, that particular node should have the necessary networking software and OS that is compatible with the protocol. Only then the node is eligible for transmission. So the main purpose on creating a computer network is the network sharing. This is the very important goal of computer network, which is resource sharing. Like when two people meet, they usually share their idea, like, or any rumors, etc. Just like that, when two computers are connected through a network, they will be sharing files among them, then printers, etc. Everything sharing takes place. That is what resource sharing. Then next is high reliability. The network should be reliable in the sense trustworthy. So the data should be accessible anytime. Like in network terms, they usually say it as 99.999% uptime. The response time should be 99.99%. And these things will be discussed later. Maybe if you are viewing your results on your college website mainly, you might be viewing your results in your college website once it gets published. So at the time, so many students will be accessing your college website to view their results. Due to that, your college website might face like it couldn't balance the load. It keeps on buffering mainly. So this means your college network is not reliable. In order to tackle it, it should have a backup plan, multiple servers in hand. For example, you can just take a Google server. Like when you are accessing your Google search engine, you get the results immediately. Like throughout the world, so many people will be using Google search engine. Like the Google search engine app comes by default in the smartphone these days. So many people will be accessing the Google search engine, but it shows results for every single person who accesses the Google search page. Because Google is able to achieve that because they have hundreds and thousands of servers which are able to respond to every client who requests data to them. For example, if I am typing like computer network nodes in Google search engine, the Google server, which is actually free now, will be responding to me, and it will be replying the results within a few seconds. So we can say that Google is highly reliable. Google network is highly reliable. And then the third goal for computer network is inter-process communication. Inter-process communication is mainly communication between two processes, either through message sharing or shared memory. So this is the concept that comes in operating system. We can discuss about this detail while learning the subject operating system. So as of now, you can just think that two nodes from different geographical area are sharing data, and the main goal of computer network here is to guarantee error-free communication between the two nodes. That is what is in inter-process communication. And then flexible access, in the sense the data should be accessible from anywhere on anywhere in the network. The device should be able to access the data from anywhere throughout the network. For example, if you have joined a course, like so many students might have joined with you in a course, and you might have a particular faculty to help you throughout the course. So initially the faculty might need all your details. Previously what she might have done, she might have recorded it in a hard copy of the Hub registry, like all your details, like your date of birth, like your email address, your previous marks, and your blood group, address, etc. She might have recorded it in her hard copy register. But then she might have shifted to Excel using Excel sheet. She might have uploaded them in her Excel sheet, and she might have filled everything manually. So with the help of a network, what she can do to ensure efficiency is she can just create a Google Drive of an Excel sheet. With the help of Google Drive, she can share just the Excel sheet with all the students, and she is the creator actually of this project, and each of the student will be manually filling their details they might be in any part of the world, but with the help of the network they can access the file, edit the file. So flexibility is guaranteed here. So the faculty is the creator here, but the each student is an individual contributor to this project, and they have successfully completed the file, like the task is done. So this was possible only with the help of a computer network. So ensuring flexibility is fourth main goal of a computer network. And then we are going to see about the types of link. There might be two types of link: point to point and multi-point. If a single communication channel is shared between only two devices, we can call it as a point to point. But if a single communication channel is shared between multiple devices, we can call it as a multi-point. So then the directions of data flow, basically we have three directions. One is simplex, then full duplex and half duplex. A simplex in the sense unidirectional. At a particular point of time, data transmission takes place in only one direction at a time. For example, consider your monitor, your laptop monitor or your PC's monitor. It is just an output device, like it's a display device, right? You can only view the results, like so the data flow is unidirectional here, like we can't input anything to our monitor, it can just display the output. So yeah, but touch enabled screens are like in touch but in touch enabled devices the data flow can be bidirectional. So since it can accept input through touch sensors. And then the second one is a half duplex mode of transmission. This is bidirectional only, but data can flow in both directions, but at a particular point of time data can flow in only one direction. Example, walkie-talkie. Before the invention of smartphones, walkie-talkies were there, like it is also wireless only, but the main thing about walkie-talkie is that at a particular point of time only person A can speak and the person B has to listen silently. Once a person A has stopped talking, then person B can communicate. At that time A has to silently listen. If both A and B are communicating at the same time, it causes error, like it creates interference, like jamming error, some sound will be. The third is full duplex. In full duplex, data transmission takes place at the same time in both directions, like a mobile phone. You can talk as well as listen at the same time. So consider a network that has 4 nodes A, B and C and D. So if node A is communicating to node B alone at the same time, like one sender and one receiver, which it is called a unicast mode of communication. For example, in your classroom, if you are telling any secret to only your one and only best friend, that is called a unicast mode of communication. In a multicast method, a single sender can transmit message to 2 or 3 nodes. For example, you might have your own particular gang of friends in your classroom. So sharing your details only with your gang members might be called a multicast mode of communication. The third is a broadcast method, which means a single sender in a network will communicate its data to all other nodes in the network. For example, if your faculty is sharing the exam timetable, she will be sharing it to every student in the classroom. This method is called a broadcast. So a typical network should satisfy these criteria in order to be eligible to become a good network. First is performance. Performance can be measured by transit time and response time. Transit time is the amount of time required for a message to travel from one device to other. This is the transit time. Second one is a response time. Response time is the elapsed time between the inquiry and response. For example, if node A is requesting a particular file to node B at the time T1, and the node B is viewing the request and she is responding back at time T2. So the time interval between the request and response is called the response times. And the performance of a network, it depends on a few factors like the number of users. Second one is type of transmission medium. Third one is hardware. and fourth one is software. Number of users, in the sense if there are so many users in the network, that need to be measured to balance load balancing, and to scalability issues should be met. For example, if there are so many users in a network, it can cause scalability issues and load balancing issues as well. So there has to be measures ensured to guarantee that all the users can access the network without any hassle. The second is the transmission medium. Either it can be wired medium or wireless medium. So it has to be tolerant enough to communicate any time, like flexibility should be ensured. And the third is the hardware and software used. So each device in the network should be updated with the latest software, and its hardware should not be like an old version of the old devices which is not compatible with the features of the currently available software. So this can also degrade the performance of a network. So the hardware and software should be up to date. The second main criteria is reliability, ensuring high reliability. So in addition to accuracy of delivery, the network reliability is measured by frequency of failure, recovery time of network after failure, and network robustness in catastrophe. So just we discussed about the Google server, right, how it is reliable. So in the same way, each network should be reliable up to a certain percentage, like 99.999% uptime is the best criteria for a reliable network so far. And in regards to security, network security, it includes protecting data from unauthorized access and viruses. Security is a big area actually. There are like confidentiality, integrity, availability issues, then encryption, then the adversarial models. There are so many attacks that happens in a network. Those things are there, but as far as GATE exam, these concepts are not necessary. So we'll be going to the next topic, which is the network categories. Categories of network are like local area network, metropolitan area network, wide area network, and the storage area network. A local area network typically connects two devices over short distance. For example, in schools and colleges, we'll be using a local area network to connect the devices. The topologies it used include bus topology, ring topology, and star topology. We'll be discussing about these topologies in our next video. So yeah, local area network is just like typically connecting all the nodes in your particular college campus or school campus. So within a building, it is local area network is usually used within a building. The second is metropolitan area network. It connects several LANs together, and the connectivity technology used are ATM, frame relay, X.25. So we can discuss about this later. So a metropolitan network, let us take an example of an Indian bank. So Indian Bank might have several branches in Chennai. So each branch has its own LAN connection. Yeah. So connecting all these branches in Chennai together is called a metropolitan area network, like it covers a metropolitan city. So next is wide area network. Wide area network will be connecting network that belong to different countries together, like a large geographical area. So the headquarters of Google, like the home office, is in California, and we have a branch office of Google in India as well. So connecting these two offices, it can be done with the help of a wide area network. And the next comes storage area network. So far we have seen about local area network, wide area network, metropolitan area network. These things are mainly measured based on the geographical spread, like how much area they can cover, like that was the criteria. But for storage area network, those things are not applicable. Storage area network is typically confined to a single room actually. It is a dedicated, independent and high-speed network that connects and delivers shared pool of storage devices to multiple servers. Like they can be used to store business critical details in a single room, like the confidential data in your college campus, like the student results, then other important certificate details, etc. It will be in a single room, like a storage area network. It is mainly concerned with providing storage, like secure storage without others tampering. So it won't be connected to a college LAN as well. It will be completely dedicated and separate. Yeah, a storage area network connects the various components of a large computing system such as disk array, tape drives, libraries, etc. They are completely dedicated. They are not accessible through LAN. So in this video we have seen about what is a computer network. It's just a connection of 2 to 3 devices with a communication medium. Then the components of a communication, like the sender, a receiver, the message, the communication channel, and a protocol. Then connectivity, so these are nodes and this is the link, that's what we see in here. Then the networking elements, it includes at least 2 computers, a communication medium, then the communication protocol, and a network software, like the operating system which we need. Then goals of a computer system we saw, like resource sharing, then reliability, then inter-process communication, and then we discussed about flexible sharing. Yeah. So then we saw about the types of link, point to point or multi-point. Then the directions of data flow, like simplex, unidirectional, half duplex, bidirectional, but data flow takes place in only one direction at a time. Then full duplex, like bidirectional, but data flow takes place in both directions. Then unicast, one sender and one receiver. Multicast, one sender and 2 or more receivers. Broadcast, one sender and all the nodes in the network are the receivers. The network criteria, a good network should be good in terms of performance, it should be reliable, and it should be secure also. Then we saw about the categories of network, like local area network, storage area network, wide area network, metropolitan area network. Yeah, in the next video we will be discussing about MANET, like mobile ad hoc network, and the different network topologies like the bus, star, ring, etc. So that's it for this video. Thank you, students.